This episode was a letdown for me, to be honest. It was literally them running around trying to find Aegon and then naming him king. And then a little switcheroo at the end, which wasn't really a switcheroo. They baited you with a switcheroo, but it ended up being nothing really crazy. And then, like, I don't know, man. I thought this episode was a letdown. It was not a bad episode, okay? I mean, House of the Dragon is not a bad show. It's a good show. It's an awesome show. But it was a letdown, okay? You gotta admit, it was a letdown. And this is episode 9. I mean, if we're going to go by Game of Thrones rules, plus the build-up from last episode, the episode started off really somber, actually. The king passed away in the last episode, and Alicent has found the body and realizes what's happening, and she's really sad. She's crying, and she's heartbroken over it. So she really cared about the king. She spent so much time with him, taking care of him, so it makes sense. But if you remember from the last episode, she thinks that the king was talking to her. So she doesn't think that the king was talking about her. She interpreted it as the king was talking about Aegon, that her son should be the next heir to the throne. And we know that's not the case, right? The king was talking about Rhaenyra. So there's this whole misunderstanding. She calls a meeting and she proclaims that in the last few minutes, the last moments of the king as he was dying, he told me that Aegon should be the heir. And, that's far-fetched, right? Because that's hard to believe. Because throughout Aegon's entire life, the king has not shown any sign of support of that. He named Rhaenyra to be his heir, to be a successor. And you're telling me that in his final moments, with you as the only witness, he named your son to be heir? Yeah, that seems fishy. But see, the thing is, coming from Alicent's point of view, Alicent truly believes that to be the case. So she's not trying to play any games here. She truly believes it. But you can see how everybody else would think that she's playing some games. Funnily enough, the entire King's Council were on board because they didn't want a woman to be king. They wanted the king's firstborn male to be king, and that's Aegon. There was one of the King's Council who was like, yeah, I'm not standing for this. As far as I know, I've known King Viserys longer than everybody here. Everybody sitting here, I've known him the longest, okay? And I know he would not go against his word. He said this, and he would not choose Aegon to be heir. I know it. And so what do? They boot him out of there. The most annoying part of all this is that it could have been easily avoided if Daemon and Rhaenyra just played a more active role in everything. Where do they keep running off to? Why do they keep running back home immediately after everything? If they were there in person, they could have challenged this whole succession and none of this would have happened. So everybody's on board now. Everybody's on board with King Aegon because that's the tradition. So now the plans to put Aegon onto the throne is moving forward. However, there's a huge problem. Aegon is nowhere to be found. So this guy does not want the throne. He's literally running around hiding. They literally found him hiding under a stone table, drunk, because he seriously does not want the throne. With the hand of the king, Otto Hightower, what he wanted to do was he wanted to get rid of all challenge to the throne. So he wanted to actually put Rhaenyra to death. He wanted to send someone out to kill Rhaenyra. And Alicent was like, yeah, that's not happening. The king loved Rhaenyra. Even though the king said Aegon should be the heir, the king loved Rhaenyra. You can tell she really believes that the king meant for Aegon to be the heir. So we know that she misheard, right? The king was talking about Rhaenyra. So what does Alicent do? Alicent calls on her trusty knight, Criston, to go out and find Aegon. Because now she can, if she finds Aegon, she can use Aegon as a bargaining chip. Like, I have Aegon now, so if you want him, you're not going to kill Rhaenyra. So Criston is sent on the mission to go and find Aegon. And Aemond steps in and he's like, I know my brother. He's my brother. I know him. So I'm going to go help out. So as Aemond and Criston are running around trying to find Aegon, Aemond is like, I know how to fight. I have all these credentials that, that are probably king-worthy, much more than my brother Aegon, because Aegon doesn't even want the throne. He doesn't really qualify for it, other than he's the firstborn. So Aemond is like, dang, I should be king, But, he's loyal to his family, he's loyal to his brother, so he goes out and tries to find him. So they end up finding Aegon. They had to battle Otto Hightower's other guys who were also trying to find Aegon. But the crazy thing is, as the search was going on, we find out some of the things that Aegon has been up to. There's this underground child fighting ring. And they sharpen the kids' nails, like 10, 12 years old. They sharpen their nails, they sharpen their teeth, and you see them fighting, literally slashing each other's face and everything. So as they're walking through this place, the camera pans down to a little dungeon, and we find out that Aegon has been sending his kids to this place. He's probably, having kids, not wanting to deal with children because he doesn't want the responsibility, and he's sending them to this child fighting ring. And that's one of many. There was one kid there in the dungeon. That's one of many, they said. Like, what? That's so messed up, all right? That's so messed up. Leading off of that, we get a little bit more insight into the character of Aegon. He doesn't really want the throne, but now he has it. So on the way to the ceremony, you find out that Aegon has a real insecurity problem. It got to the point where he was even questioning his own mother's love for him. This guy views himself as a failure. No matter what he does, even if he tries, he's always going to fail. He's never going to amount to anything, so why even try? We got a little hint of that back when he was a teenager. He said, I try so hard, but I can't do it. So no matter what he does, he feels like it's not going to amount to anything, so why try? So that's why he hides from responsibility, because he thinks that he can't do it. So he feels like he's unfit for the throne, and he feels he shouldn't have it. He doesn't have the qualifications for it. It also creates this interesting dynamic between him and his brother. It's his younger brother who seems to be more qualified than him. But you're giving the throne to the older brother just from tradition. So he doesn't believe in himself. So why would he think that his father, King Viserys, would believe in him? Throughout my entire life, King Viserys, my father, has never said anything about me being king. He always wanted Rhaenyra to be king. Why in his last moments, with no other witnesses besides Alicent, would he say that Aegon is going to be my heir? So he doesn't believe his mother, right? And he's questioning his mother's own love for him. Like, I'm a failure. You probably don't even love me. Why should I believe you? Why would the king want me to be his heir? I can't amount to anything. This doesn't make any sense. He's underestimating himself. He already believes that if he tries, he's going to fail. He's not good for anything. So why try at all? Just run from my problems, hide, and because that's all I can do, So it's sad. So he can't even live up to his potential because he believes he doesn't even have any potential. So his mom has to convince him that she does in fact love him, right? And that this is what his father wanted for him. So they get to the ceremony. They crown him king. You see Aemond looking at him, and Aemond's probably thinking like, dang it, man, that should be me. I'd be much better on the throne. But he respects his brother and he respects his family. So Aegon is crowned king. He stands up, he pulls out a sword, and he's lifting it up and he's cheering. Everybody in the crowd is cheering because they want a male king. And then you see Rhaenys just turn around and walk away because, she wasn't 100% on board with Aegon being king. And then boom, the walls come tumbling down, bricks falling over. I'm sure people are crushed. Dust fills the room. And then you hear a dragon roar and a dragon come in. I'm like, holy cow, is Rhaenyra coming in? Is Daemon coming in? Are they going to put up a fight against this? Right? Because Rhaenyra should be the one on the throne. And Daemon's always wanted the throne. And now Aegon is taken over out of nowhere. So are they going to come up and put a fight? So you see the dragon come in and it's sort of clouded by the dust. And then you see like this headpiece. And it looks awfully like Rhaenys' headpiece. And I'm like, wait, that's sort of obvious, right? Because Rhaenys was just talking about her dragon earlier. She just left. If she's coming in with the dragon, I mean, okay. Why are you hiding it? Why are you creating the suspense? So the dragon emerges from the dust and you see the figure, and it's Rhaenys. I'm like, what was the point in that? You're trying to hide. You're trying to play coy. You're trying to create the suspense by hiding behind the dust cloud, trying to make this big reveal, and it's just Rhaenys. You revealed the obvious. Okay, that was what's the point in trying to create suspense only to reveal the obvious? It makes no sense. So the dragon and Rhaenys come through the dust, and the dragon opens its mouth. And I'm like, whoa, okay. So you revealed Rhaenys, so that's obvious. So now you're about to pull out the unexpected right here. So now this is the episode 9 moment. This is going to be the episode 9 moment. You're going to wipe out everybody. And even though I'm like, no, don't do this. Don't do this. Don't kill Aemond. You literally hyped him up all last episode, and I really want to see more interaction with Daemon and Aemond. You better not burn him up right now. But even so, that would be crazy if you do, all right? That would be an episode 9 worthy moment. And what happens? The dragon just roars and then she walks out. Like, what is the point of that? You're playing coy, creating the suspense. You reveal the obvious, that it's Rhaenys, and then you just roar and walk out. Like, what was that? You just scare him and walk out? Like, come on, that was a letdown, all right? That was a letdown. That was the entire episode to me. It was a letdown. The entire episode was just them running after, trying to find Aegon, trying to hunt him down, install him as king. Then you do this crazy little bait and switch to the obvious. So what was the point of that? And then you end the episode. Especially comparing it to the other episodes in this season, I feel like this is probably one of the worst episodes this season. I mean, this might be a controversial opinion. I don't know yet. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What did you guys think about the episode? Did you think it was a letdown? I mean, it's House of the Dragon. It's Game of Thrones. The acting is good. The cinematography is good. But the story didn't do much for me this episode. So let me know your thoughts down below, down in the comment section. Do you feel like I do? Or did you really like the episode? Let me know. I'll see you guys in episode 10, the finale. Hopefully they got something in store for us then. We'll see. And I'll see you guys then. Take care. Bye-bye.